Well, hello everyone. Um, how are you today? I'm Mark Howard, and I wanted to just share a little bit more about teaching what you know and being comfortable with teaching what you know of the principles. It's all at the service of you getting comfortable with getting started and teaching what you do know of the principles. I've just had this really great fortune in the last 6 months to get to know even more of you who are wanting to teach the principles in your practice and begin to mentor and coach many of you. So here's the point. First one that you want to get a feel for is that when you're teaching, you're of service to this understanding. You are being of service to the principles, and they're being able to help humankind. So it's a nice place to get consciously that when you're sharing what you know, you're of service to these principles, and you are of service to the understanding of humankind. And if you can find that feeling, it'll make it really easy to go about sharing with people what you know. See, so that makes that any insecurity you have is really a sign that you're making it about you. If I start to get insecure about what I'm sharing, oh man, do I know enough today? Am I sharing it like so-and-so? That's now about Mark Howard. It's not really about being of service to the principles. So insecurity helps us see that we're caught up in thinking about ourselves. So we let that go and come back to being of service to the principles. Isn't that helpful? Just kind of get in the feeling that you're of service. You know, you and I have been blessed to get a glimpse of this understanding. And so we're bringing it to humankind. Another point that was helpful is Sydney Banks would always tell us that whenever he's sharing or, teaching a seminar, he's not teaching to the person. He's not teaching to, like, say, Mark Howard or Keith Blevins or the people in the audience. He's teaching beyond their physical form to the conscious state that wakes up this understanding of knowledge that exists within every person that's there. So you can start to think of yourself teaching beyond the physical form of the person, the problems they're bringing into your office, and teach beyond that to wake up within them this knowledge of the principles. So for those of you in the mental health field, for example, just as an example, people come in with all forms that thought takes, and it's categorized in the psychiatric manual, the DSM. Well, you want to teach beyond that to the consciousness that has the knowledge, the wisdom of these principles. So your teaching is aimed beyond that form. This is how you won't get thrown by the form that shows up in your, the form that thought takes, insecure thought takes, and is presented in your office. So again, you're being of service to the principles and you're teaching beyond the person. Of course, you're connected to the person, you're listening to them, you're dialoguing them, but your aim is beyond that form. A practical way of looking at this is, take your time. When somebody asks you about the principles or you're in the role of sharing the principles, take your time to get into this state of being of service. I was known for that in the medical center when I worked at that clinic. I would do a lot of co-therapy with other therapists in groups. And as people asked questions about what I was sharing, I would take the time to get myself back to that feeling state of being of service and then go from there. And, so it helped a lot of people who didn't even know what I was doing, who were therapists, to see that they could take some time before jumping on a question and answering anything that's coming to their intellect. So take your time and give yourself the opportunity to get into the feeling state of being of service to the principles. As I said on the first video of teaching what you know, let that intelligence assist you. So I just wanted to share that as a sequel to that first video, and hope this is helpful. Another point, again, I just want to emphasize with all of you is give yourself a break about teaching these principles, you know. You get into thinking about not having done a good job, or seeing that you could have done better here or there. Give yourself a break about that, because, you know, learning how to share these principles is an evolution for the rest of your life. You will always see where you could have gone better, and just use that as learning. You don't want to move it to evaluating yourself. I've been teaching principles now for 32 years, and I still see how I could do it better. But I do that with neutrality, knowing that I will always be seeing more. And it's helped me to see myself as a student of this understanding and the teaching process, that I'll never perfect it because I'm in the human condition, right? So you're going to get all kinds of thoughts while you're, coaching or mentoring or doing a talk. And you just get yourself back to this feeling state of being of service to the principles, and let that guide you.